All right. Welcome, everybody. So excited that you are here with us tonight. So, my name is Leah Pearson, and I'm an Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. And really, tonight, I just wanted to invite you to hear my story, hopefully, hear my heart, and just pray that your heart is open to hear what you need to hear tonight, too. So, just a little bit of backstory for you. So, about 3 years ago, 3 short years ago, I was sitting on my couch and I felt numb inside because I was watching my kids open up their Christmas presents. I know we just got through the holidays here. So this was kind of fresh on my mind. And they were opening up their presents 3 years ago. And just a couple weeks prior to that, I had another surgery. I had had some back-to-back surgeries. I had another surgery and my body was super weak from that. But I really just honestly felt like my heart was weak just from a really tough season and from disappointment. And as my kids opened up their presents, I vividly remember this. I saw used Legos that I had bought off of Marketplace. I don't know if anybody buys stuff from Marketplace. And I had spent time scrubbing them clean because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to give my kids the best that I could. But I'm scrubbing these Legos and these other used toys. And I felt guilt about that, but my kids were squealing with delight because they really hardly ever got gifts. They were super, super excited because they didn't get things a lot. So that is kind of a backstory of where we were at, very tight financially, not doing well, and had went through a really tough season. Fast forward a couple months, and a friend reached out to me about a business opportunity. And I really just felt like something was stirring in my heart as she started to answer my questions. And I followed that nudge, and the rest is history. Here I am. So I'm now one of the top ranks in the company. I'm a six-figure earner, and my family is in a completely different place. So like I said, we just celebrated Christmas. We had gifts under the tree this year. We planned a surprise vacation for my kids, which was just like the best thing. That was just amazing for me. So we're going on that in a couple weeks. We were able to bless some families in need over the holidays, which we were like on the other side of that just a couple years ago, where we were in need and didn't have enough money to get by. And then flip the script, we're able to bless other people over the holidays this year. And that's all because 2.5, almost 3 years ago, I took a step of faith when I had that conversation with my friend. And so I wanted to sit down and chat with you about that tonight, because I really believe that you can be in a completely different place a few short months from now as well. And this is honestly something that I never thought that I was capable of doing, didn't have any interest in it. It was not on my radar at all. But because of a lot of different factors, which I'm going to try to touch on some of them tonight, it's been possible. And this has been one of the most rewarding almost 3 years of my life. And I am so thankful that I said yes to the nudge and I jumped in, and I jumped all in. So you're on this call tonight because your interest has been piqued in regards to dreaming bigger, wanting more, and you probably have some curiosity as far as like what is possible for you and your family this year. And we all have unique goals and vision for our life. We have unique purposes, giftings, abilities, personalities. We're all different, right? Yeah, what I love about Plexus is no matter who you are, you can be successful at this. Even if you're an introvert, that's me. Even if you're an extrovert, if you know a lot of people, if you feel like you don't know a lot of people, it doesn't really matter. What we do is really simple. There's a lot of basic skills that you can learn and master those, just like with anything you do. If you had a brand new job, you probably would have some training for that job, right? Or if you're a brand new mom, you got to figure out the basics of how to change the diapers and do the things. There's a little bit of some skills that you need to learn. Like there's a learning curve, right? For anything, there's basic skills that you need to learn. But if you're open to learning those skills, if you're coachable, if you're willing to grow, you can do this business. If you commit to the process, you will be successful. Really, the only way to fail is to quit. But why? Why is the question that I get a lot. Why would I want to go all in with this business? First of all, I believe that every single person has a unique ability and a unique group of people that they are called to make an impact on in their lifetime. We're all wired to make a difference. Like that's an innate desire that we have. And each of us has a piece of the world to make a difference in. And Plexus is not my purpose, but it is a vehicle to fulfilling my higher purpose. And it has given me a platform to bring hope to a world that really desperately needs hope right now. And it's given me an amazing atmosphere to grow and bloom into all that I am created to be. And I love the community and the atmosphere of growth here. Secondly, I want to challenge you with this question. If time and money were no issue, and maybe you've been asked this by the person that invited you, but if time and money were no issue, how would you want to spend your days? How would you and your family spend your days? This is really hard for a lot of people to even go there with dreaming. And I just would love to share a quick blip of my heart as an example. When I started this business, we were scraping by financially. I know I had alluded to that a little bit with the used toys for Christmas thing. I had several people that had shared online work from home business opportunities with me over the years. And honestly, it just never caught my attention. I was a stay-at-home mom and I really valued being home with them and investing in my kids. So when people said things like, you'd love the community, we would have so much fun together, you could get your products paid for a couple $100 a month, would that help your family? Those were all things that people had said to me over the years, and they were well-intentioned, but none of it caught my attention. To me, it would not be worthwhile to do just a side hustle that brought in maybe a couple hundred a month and had a fun community of people that I could hang out with, because I had friends, I had community, and being what I thought I was going to have to do is be glued to my phone for $200 a month while I miss moments with my kids just did not appeal to me. So I'm not sure if you can relate to any of those thoughts. Maybe your vision for life is a little bit different than mine. Maybe you're a working mom who, maybe you don't want to spend the couple hours in the evening that you have with your kids doing a side hustle where you're going to lose money or maybe make a couple $100 a month, right? So maybe we're a little bit different in that way, and that's all right. But what caught my attention was when my friend Jamie shared something so much bigger than a couple $100 a month or a fun group of friends. She sent me an income graphic and shared with me that she had been making 6 figures a year since her 1-year mark in this company. So over $100,000 a year take home. That wasn't sales. I asked her, I'm like, is that sales? She said, no, that's take home. So that got my wheels spinning. A year in, 6 figures. What would life look like for our family if I could bring in $100,000 a year from my phone, from home? She was a stay-at-home mom too. So I'm like, if you can do this, I could do that, right? And as a stay-at-home mom, a lot of money never honestly interested me before. That wasn't necessarily a goal of mine. I planned on being a stay-at-home mom my whole life and not making any money. I just kind of resigned to that fact. But she shared the flexibility of being able to work, 15-minute increments at a time if needed, or while the kids were sleeping. She said, 10 hours a week, that'd be a great starting point for you for this business. And then she asked me that question, if time and money were no issue, what would your days look like? And that's when it hit me. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom. And this could give me the ability to fulfill my call and walk out my purpose and spend my days doing what mattered most to me. Many of us do not even think about our purpose or what we could actually do with our time if we had more time freedom, because we don't believe that we could have time freedom. It seems like a myth or something too good to be true. But I leaned in and I started dreaming. I dreamt of my husband being home more because he had been gone nonstop since we got married. He was working out of town 6 days a week, and our kids literally did not know their dad, didn't recognize them. It was crazy. I thought about how, we've been driving junker vehicles that need repaired constantly, and me having to load 3 kids in our car to go pick up my husband because his car broke down again. Having money to buy a reliable vehicle, that would be life-changing for us. I thought about how my husband had quit his corporate job previously to serve our community and to do ministry. And that was a step of faith we took, but then we found ourselves drowning, and he was spending all of his spare time working 3 or 4 side jobs just to be able to make ends meet. And he wasn't really actually free to serve our community or serve in the church how we wanted. And that was our original intention. So I really want to ask you, how would you want to spend your days if you had time freedom and financial freedom? So often you cannot have both of those things. You can have the time freedom, but not quite enough to get by financially, right? Or you can be a slave to your job and then not have time freedom and put the most important things first in your life. And what is so unique about Plexus is this can provide both. And that's unlike anything else out there. The opportunity at your fingertips is so much bigger than you could imagine. Before my profession, before I had kids, I was a fitness professional by trade. And I honestly had expected to make no more than, 30, 40,000 a year probably in this area with that opportunity. I have several personal friends in this industry that make that per month. So I want to encourage you to think bigger. So how? A lot of people ask me how do I do this? What does it take? I'll tell you, it does not take an outgoing personality. It does not take a million Facebook friends or you selling something or feeling like super slimy or salesy. So what do you need first? First and foremost, you don't need any experience. Our team is very unique. We literally have some of the top names in all of Plexus as our leaders, which is so awesome. And they've shared their systems with us and they do weekly trainings with us. So you do not need to know anything about the health industry, marketing, or Plexus in general. It's literally a learn as you earn opportunity, and you are going to be mentored and trained by some of the best in the industry. And that is why our team is one of the fastest growing in all of Plexus. Not all opportunities are created equal, but not all teams are created equal either. Who you surround yourself with matters. Number two, you don't need to know a ton of people when you're getting started. When my business mentor started her business, she had 150, 200 Facebook friends, I think she said. And that's what she started with. And now she's at the top of the company. I'm not super outgoing naturally. I actually am a really big time introvert and didn't feel like I had a big circle of friends, but that's okay. Even if you don't feel like you know a ton of people or you're not super extroverted, because in Plexus, we have what we call the power of three. And if you can have 3 friends jump in and start with you, you're off to a great start. And if you can show them how to help 3 friends get started and then continue that pattern, that's the power of 3, you can be very successful very quickly. And everyone has 3 friends. For me, it was my mom, my sister-in-law, and my pastor's wife. And what I love too is our compensation plan is set up so that it's not just one person at the top making a whole bunch of money. That's a question that I get asked a lot. What's cool is Plexus actually incentivizes you to empower and serve the people on your team. If they're successful, you're going to be successful. And I love how our business model really promotes serving, empowerment, and unity. I think that's huge. Another question, or number 3, I guess, how much time does this take? I had alluded to this a bit previously, saying that, 10 hours a week would be a great starting point to work your business. This evolves as you grow, but even now that I'm earning professional level income and I'm working around 6 hours spaced throughout the day. I have my kids home with me and I homeschool, so it's not huge chunks of time necessarily, but it's about 6 hours if I piece it out. And that's with being, a 6-figure earner in this company, which is kind of surreal to think about, that I can be making really good money home and present with my kids and flexible around their schedules. I think that's awesome. So, wherever you're at, whether you're working full time or whatever your schedule looks like, it's definitely possible to do this. My friend Shelly, just last year, she hit the 6-figure mark and she was working her business around a very stressful full-time job. So it's not just all stay-at-home moms that do this. She said that she's looking to retire herself because her dream has been to stay at home with her twins. So that is coming. And I know everybody's dreams are different, but she was able to build her business around a very, very busy job to start with. My friend Amber, she has a hobby farm with close to 100 animals. She homeschools her kids and she works this business as well. And she's $1 million a year earner. What she does is she wakes up at 4 a.m. and gets almost all of her work done before her kids get up. And then she is completely present, soaking in all the moments with her kids during the day. So this doesn't take huge amounts of time. If you're intentional with your time, you can bring in full-time income in short periods of time. But the cool thing is you get to choose your schedule. You get to pick. So how much time do you want to work? That's the question. Like, where's your life at right now? How much time do you want to work? And then based on that and based on your goals, we can help you design a roadmap as far as what that should look like and what you should be doing in that time frame. So the person who helps get you started, they can talk more details because that's definitely an individualized thing. Lastly, really quick, I wanted to touch on how we get paid in the business structure a little bit. So I do love that there's no inventory requirements or large upfront costs. So it's not $1,000 upfront. Literally, you just purchase your own triplex welcome pack or whatever welcome pack you want, and you are qualified to earn money. You do not have to handle or ship any inventory. It's all virtual. I think that's huge. You do not have to do any parties like hosting or anything like that. There's no quotas. So you can completely go at whatever pace you need to go at or whatever pace you want to go at. There's no requirements for like the structure of your business either. Some companies make you like balance your legs and do all sorts of weird things. And honestly, that's just a disaster. With Plexus, you can build how you want and it's flexible. And I think that's really awesome. Plexus's compensation plan is also known as the comp plan that everybody laughed at, honestly, because it's so ambassador focused and so generous. So in addition to getting weekly and monthly payouts, there's like last year, there were quarterly bonuses, which just those alone added around an extra $1,000 per month to my paycheck, which is wild to think about. And that was just with the quarterly bonuses. So I love that. Plexus has a vision for a future and a legacy too. So that gives me great confidence in partnering with this company because I know they're here for the long haul. And this is something that I'm going to be able to pass down and bless my kids with and my grandkids someday too. So, I want to just touch on, so tonight, if you enroll, like if you've not enrolled yet, if you enroll tonight, we do have a special offer for you too. So you will get 10% off your starter pack, whichever one you pick out, and you can work with a person that invited you and they'll give you some ideas on that. So you get an extra 10% off. And then as a thank you, a free bag of collagen too. So if you get started tonight, we'd love to have you join our team. And then if you, have 3 friends get started with you this month, you get a $305 bonus from Plexus as well, and a $150 Lululemon gift card, which is pretty cool too. It's definitely possible to earn well over that. I've seen people earn $500 to $2,000 within their first month. My first month, I was able to buy a fridge with my first paycheck because our fridge died randomly. So that was a huge blessing. So you can talk with a person who invited you and they can discuss more details on that. There's definitely good money to be had right away. So just wanted to encourage you with this. If you're going to do this, be intentional with your time. Treat this like a business and show up like it is flexible as far as your work, how much you want to work, when you're going to work those things. There is flexibility there, but consistency is key. So show up and treat it like a business. That is super important to start with. So show up and treat it like a business, be coachable and do what your sponsor asks you to do because they want to help you reach your goals and they know how to get you there. And then number 4, believe that you can, because belief, I think, is the number 1 indicator of success here. And if you're showing up on this call at 8:00 at night, curious about this, like you've got grit in you, and I believe that you've got what it takes and you can do this. And we want to help you too. And if you're not fully convinced yet, you can borrow the belief of the person that's getting you started, and that will fuel you for a long ways as well. So I want to leave you with just a couple quick questions. Okay. What kind of financial goals do you have? Do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to save like for college for your kids? What does that look like? What kind of financial goals do you have? Number 2, how do you like to spend your free time? If you're a mom, you probably laugh at that because you're like, what free time, right? But if you had free days, how would you fill your time? If your family had freedom, how would you fill your time? What would you guys want to do? Write that down. If you could double your income by this time next year, what would you do with the extra money? What would that look like for your family? I want you to mull those questions over. That's how I'm going to close, mull those over, and then connect with the person that invited you to this call. And I'm sure they would love to hear your answers to that. They'd love to hear your heart. So thank you so much for joining. I'm going to stop the recording and then we can look and see if there's any questions.